Welcome back, and we're doing section B, another 8x8 page, and I'm using again Ciao Bella Sicilia collection, which is really beautiful, blues and yellows and greens, and it's really pretty. Okay, we finished the first page already. That's the first page that we did, and page B, section B, will go in the back of the page. If you watched this first section, section A, the first video that I've done, I made a slight change to the pocket right here. I tucked it on both sides. I added another cardstock underneath the, was it lime color, solid color cardstock, because I wanted it more sturdy. So it's attached here and here, and you can tuck something under. And I also added a magnet underneath here to meet the magnet at the back of the base page, just to keep everything closed properly. Okay, so section B is going to go in the back of that. Let's begin. First, you cut out the base, which is B1. Cut a piece that is 9x8, and it will be scored twice on both sides. And so you're going to be scoring 1/2 inch on this side, 1/2 inch on the other side. And after you fold both sides, you're going to have a page that's 8x8, which will act as your base. Let me just score it again. This is 100-pound paper. It is very sturdy. Okay. And that's the base. Okay, B2 will be a flat pocket. And as you can see, I cut the cardstock here in a 1/4 circle. And to do that, you just cut a 4x8 triangle. Take any round shape item that you have. It can be a cup, it can be a small plate. I used my roll of tape, and you just put this here, attach it to both sides. Make sure that both sides are flush with the corners. Mark it with a pencil and just cut it with scissors. That's it. Okay, so this is your B2. It will go on the base right there. I'm not putting it yet. I just prepared it. Okay, B3 is going to be a left flap. That is 4 3/4 by 7. This is 4 3/4 by 7. Already scored it and applied the tape. And this will go over here. But again, put it aside. We're not doing this just yet. To accompany the flap here, I have 2 pattern paper, well, 1 pattern and 1 solid cardstock that are 5 7/8 by 4 1/4. So you can prepare them again and attach them to the flap. You can even do it now because nothing else is going to go over it. Okay, so these two go together. These are B3. This is the pattern paper that will go over the pocket. It is 3 3/4 by 7 3/4. Okay, and then you're going to have other parts that we're going to attach on later. We don't need it one. Okay, the next piece that you want to cut is B4. It is 8 3/4 by 8. You will see that I put an S next to some of the numbers. That means that this is where I added 1/2 inch for the scoring. So if this is 8 3/4 and I have an S next to it, I am going to score 1/2 inch on the 8 3/4 side. Okay, so now the final size is 8 1/4 by 8. Which is a little too much than what I need. I think I'm going to take 3/4 off here. Okay, so I'm changing my calculation. Obviously was off. So you're gonna need about 8 3/8 by 8. 8 3/8 by 8. Scored 1/2 inch. You're gonna have 7 5/8 by 8, which is more likely than what we need. We just need a bit shy of 8 inches. Okay, so it's 8 3/8, not 8 3/4. 8 3/8 by 8. So when you take 1/2 inch, you get 7 7/8. That's more likely. Okay. So we scored it, and we're going to apply it to the left side. Of my base. Take my 1/2 inch double side tape. Apply it to the outside of my wing. Place your base in front of you, and if you have the wings, see, these are the wings, put it on both sides. So the wings are on the sides. And you apply that to the side that does not have a wing. Okay, carefully. Here we go. And iron it. So you put this flush to the side that does not have the wings, and over here you're going to have a little bit of space left over, which is what we want because it has to be able to flap easy. This side is going to be attached to the hinge. Okay, so we can't have it too long. Okay, so now the wing is facing me. It's right here, and this is the right side of the page. Now I'm taking B5. B5 I cut to 6 1/4 by 8 1/2, and I'm going to cut it on the 8 1/2 side. I'm sorry, not cut it, score it. on the 8.5 side. I'm gonna score it 1/2 inch. Apply tape. And this will be my top flap. And my top flap will go on the top part of B4. Okay, I'm not attaching it yet. I still want to work on the flap. It's just easier to work on it when it's not attached. So let's go to work on this one, and once we're done with that, we will apply it and we can work on the rest of the page. Okay? So for this top flap, I have a bit of something different, let's call it. So what I want to do is I want to have a frame on both sides of it, and I want to cut it in the center so it'll be like a frame. So this will be here and this will be here, and it'll be open in the center. And then I have cut this little bunny. I already fussy cut it from here. So the original piece of paper was actually like that, and the bunny was here. Okay. And I had a little piece there, and I think I saved it just for you to see, but now I can't find it. There were already there were also little parts here that I cut out. I probably just tossed away, but that was the original piece of pattern that I cut out from the paper, and I fussy cut this around like that, and then I cut a frame out of that. Now I want to put it back in where I want to have this little piece flapping in and out, and behind it I'm going to have a background, a different background that's not pattern. Okay, so what I'll do is I have this for the frame, and this will be flapping, the whole thing will flap up, and I have this little thing for the bunny that will flap down. So let's do the bunny first. Okay, cut a piece that is 4 3/4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. 4 3/4 by 7.5. That's your B6. B6. 4 3/4 by 7.5. You're going to score 1/2 inch on the 7.5 side. Okay. Now if you don't want a fussy cut, you don't like this for any reason, that's fine. Just take the whole pattern paper and put it around. Okay, just the whole thing. Don't fussy cut anything, just cut a piece of pattern paper to put this on top. Okay, I'm going to take the bunny and I'm going to glue it on top of my flap. I already inked the edges. And when you apply glue, please try to go as close as possible to the edges. Don't put a lot of glue. You don't need a lot of glue. But you do need to go all the way to the edges. Okay, and I'm putting this in the center. Make sure everything is attached properly. If you don't do that, over time, all the edges will start to come up. It's one thing that I see sometimes in videos. They're rushing the project. They just put, you know, 2 lines of glue, leaving all the edges open. And that is great when you do a video and you just want to show the placement where everything goes, but it's not so great for over time. Okay, so now everything is glued properly. And I'm just going to go around. I don't know if I want to do it with my scissors or with my knife, and I'm dropping things. Okay. Okay, so cut around and leave about 1/8 of an inch of the chipboard, of the cardstock showing. I don't know why I keep calling it chipboard today. Use whatever scissors are comfortable for you. You can use straight scissors, big scissors, small scissors, knives, blades, I mean. Notice I keep my scissors straight and I just roll my paper. Move my paper around. Okay, when you get to the end, I'm leaving a little bit of space there. Like that. Okay, just want to do okay. So this will go on the bottom of this flap that I just cut. Okay. It'll go on the bottom right here. Just like you would attach a regular flap. Okay, so we have a top flap here, and then we have this one there going this way. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put a little magnet at the back of my bunny. Okay, because when the whole page is said and done, I want this to just attach nicely. So let's take this magnet and put it in the middle. Now I cut this little piece of green solid cardstock to go behind. It doesn't have to cover it exactly. You can if you want to, but really it's not necessary. I just want it to be nice and neat, and I want it to cover the magnet. So it's a little bit too big than the side. I want it straight with this part right there. Probably gonna have to chop a little bit here and chop a little bit there. Okay, now I see that it is straight from line from here, and it's not coming up from everywhere. So this is good. Right there, I'm happy with the placement of it here. Okay, let's put tape around it. When you apply tape to solid cardstock or pattern paper, again, put the tape as close as possible to the edges. The center can have less glue, but the edges, you want it as close as possible so that they will not lift. Just want to make sure that my magnet is on the right side. I always put it on the other pages to make sure that it's not interfering with the magnet on the page before it. Okay, so this is done. Put a little glue there. Put some glue around the magnet, not on it. And place it. Okay, let's go ahead and put our cutout frame. So now I have this down here, and I'm going to cut out a frame from the top flap, because remember, I want it to have an opening there. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to mark about an inch, maybe a little more than an inch around. This is where I want my paper to be. So it's going to be about an inch and an eighth. I'm going to do it with a pencil. Let me just grab my pencil. I'm going to do it with a pencil just in case I need to erase it later. I don't want it to show. Okay, so 1 1/8 from the edges. Okay, so you can opt to do it with your paper trimmer, or you can do it with a knife, however it is comfortable for you. Here we go. Oh, here we go. I want my heavy duty knife or box cutter, just because it is steadier. Okay. Take your time. You don't want to ruin it by rushing. Okay. We have our frame. We can keep this and save it for something else. Okay. I'm using wet glue for applying the designer paper frame, because I have too many sides to align, and it will just give me a few seconds more to align it. You know, if you use a double side tape, the second you put it onto the paper, it's done. You can't move it. Okay. So this here, you can choose to cover it, or you can leave it like that. I'm choosing to cover it. I don't like how it's coming out that way. So you can either use this, you know, piece of craft color paper, or you can use something else. Okay, I'll just give it a cleaner look. I'd rather have two little parts here showing than this thing. Oops. Okay, let's do the other side. Okay, so over here we can probably put like a little embellishment or something. Let's see what we got. Oh, here we go. Maybe here. Maybe, no. Okay. I have this, but it might be just a teeny bit too big, too wide. I have this. Oh, you know what we can do? We can do those circles. We can do some circles here. I don't have to use those. Oh, I could. And just do buttons. I have these leftovers and I can just use this one. Let's see. One, See? And I just dropped it. Never mind. Just cut a few of those. Four, five. Six. Try to squeeze one more. 7. See? Ha ha, I like that. Okay, so I'm just going to ink the edges. I'm using some brown because I want it defined. Holding them together and then moving them just slightly so it'll be just a bit exposed there. Okay, put this one in the middle first. On the sides. Okay, you can actually continue the theme and put some here, right? But I'm gonna leave it for now and maybe later I'll do something there. Okay, so for now let's leave it open. I want the glue to dry. Leave it on the side. And okay, well, this will go on top, so I can't really put it on the side. I have to do something here. Let's put this on first and then we'll still leave it open, okay? To leave it open, just gonna put a clip there. You'll keep it open. Okay, so I want to put this on top. I'm going to turn it around. So the flap is going to the right. You see, this is the top part. Attach this whole thing to the center. That's my top flap. So underneath it, I'm going to have this in the center. And these on toe sides. Like that. This is before 6 by 7 3/4. And like as usual, I can't find my tools. Here we go. Okay, and I have 2 strips. The B4 strips are B4 strips, where my paper is 3/4 by 7 3/4. So they will be placed right there in the center. And I'm leaving a little space in between so that the cardstock would show. This should be dry by now. Look how cute. All right, so the bunny opens up and we have that window. Isn't it cute? Okay, and this whole thing flips to the right, and this is my base page. So I have to put a magnet here just to make sure that everything stays. Okay. I took a magnet that's a little bigger. It's a 1/2 inch. And I will put it there. Just to center it. Okay, so this will go under the blue. It's okay. Maybe do it this way. Okay. So the glue is the magnet is here, sitting on top of where I already have the magnet placed. So this is the correct place, and this needs to go and attach here. That's why I put the double-sided tape here. So now I just have to attach the tape to the page under. And this is the correct placement for it. Okay. You hear it? It means it's in the right place. Okay, so let's do our inside pages. For this inside page, I'm going to put this here, this here, right? That's my pocket. And I have this side flap here. Okay. So these two parts are for the side flap. This side flap is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 by 7. Okay, B3 is 4 3/4 by 7. Scored 1/2 inch. Actually, I scored it a little more than 1/2 inch, but who's counting? Alright, and 2 parts of pattern paper, or in this case 1 pattern and 1 solid. That is 5 7/8 by 4 1/4. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it. Again, I have tape around the edges. And I also put a little bit tape in the middle. Make sure it adheres well. So that's my front. Same thing on the back. See, I have it around and I have a little bit in the center. And putting it in the center, just, you know, just really to just make sure that it stays in place. It doesn't wave, it doesn't pull. Okay, so I like this combination of double-side tape and liquid glue. Except on the white, I don't put this on the white. And very little liquid glue, not a lot. You saturate it, you're gonna be seeing waves. Okay. So this will be in the center right there. You can eyeball it or you can measure it if you're not comfortable with eyeballing. You can take your ruler. This is the center. And you know about where you need it. Okay. And that's done. Okay, so now I put the flap down. This will go over here. I like to cover the wings. Just give it a cleaner look, I think. All right, so this is B1, 7 3/4 by 6. Well, 7 3/4, sorry, by 5.5. Originally it was 6 and I took 1/2 inch for this piece. So I cut this as one piece and then I just trimmed off 1/2 inch. Oops. Always add a little glue around the magnet. Look how pretty this looks, all the blue here. Unified, clean. Lovely. Okay, this is my, easier this way. Okay. Okay, my flat pocket. I can put this on first. Just want to make sure it has tape around the edges. I'm just going to go over real clean here. Okay. And put this all the way to the edge. It attaches nicely. Okay. I have a flap here and I have a pocket here. So this is done. And for here, I have a centerpiece. And I cut 4 strips to go around as the frame. I cut them all the same size, but they're gonna be needing a little trim. Okay. You can opt to do in a triangle, but I don't know if it's necessary. Okay. Okay, I'm going to turn it around and mark where I want to cut it. The second will be the same spot. Second might need a little more. So the strips are about 7/8 of an inch. They're not quite an inch wide. This is a 6x6 from the 6x6 pad. So it needed to give a little bit. Couldn't be 1 inch. Okay, so now I'm placing it here, and I do have a smidgen around. Put it down. If you need to make adjustments, make adjustments. I may be removing just a little bit on the side. I mean, a smidgen. Will give me what I need. Every time you trim something, don't forget to go back and ink it. Okay, that's good. Like it like that. Can be like this. It can really go either way. Come to think of it, it could be that it needs to be this way. I don't know. It's so hard to tell the direction. This is fine. You can always go back to the original pack and check how it was, but it can really go either way. The last one for this page. Oh, I have a little bit of the glue sticking out. Sorry. Let me just remove it. Very nice. Okay. I think I want to do something here. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna think about it and we'll do that later. Okay, but this here, this piece with the bunny still need a little work, but basically it's kind of cute. I like it. Comes down. Open up, little flap, pocket, and we're done with this section B. I'm going to take a short break and come back and we will do section C. Thanks for watching.